All right, we're good. All right, let's call the meeting to order. Mr. Barilla, will you lead us in the pledge and the salute?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico, the symbol of perfect friendship among united cultures.
Thank you. Let's see. All board members are present except for Miss Samora. Approval of tonight's agenda. What's the pleasure?
I move that we approve tonight's agenda.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve tonight's agenda. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carried. Approve the March 17th minutes.
I move to approve March 17, 2026 regular board agenda minutes.
Then move and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Any public comment? Guess not, right? Let's move on to item 3, recognitions. Mr. Patterson, go ahead.
So every year, the school board gets to select somebody from our district for excellent in student achievement award. So our gentleman who got it this year is Mr. George Verdugo.
Woo-hoo.
Part of the reason he has it is the things he does. He comes in extra, he comes in on weekends. When he has a problem, he comes with 2 or 3 solutions. Very seldom does he come to me with a problem he can't fix, and if he can't, he'll in this roper figure it out and he tries to fix it anyway. I'd like to present him with this award and thank him for what he's done since he's been on.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, George.
Pictures.
Wait, pictures.
Hello.
Thank you. Oh, wait, we gotta get a picture. Turn it around.
Come on, George. Yeah. Okay, now look at her.
Thank you, George.
Thank
We
you,
appreciate
George.
everything you do. You're welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting, but if you want to leave, you're more than welcome to leave as well, whichever you
You'll hurt our
prefer.
feelings, George.
The only thing I had is that Mr. Patterson, on that, floors, I was, doing a little bit of research and, I was, looking up some machines that they have, but they're the smaller ones. They're you got an 8-inch and they go up to 12-inch, which I think would work better with the product that we have on hand. Will work for that. So maybe something that you might want to consider.
Yeah, so I'll definitely look at it.
Because it ain't, I don't think it'll be that big of an area where we'll need it, but the bathrooms, mainly.
Right.
So,
Okay.
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, George.
Thank you, George.
Thank you all.
Appreciate it. Moving on to reports, PAC report. I guess you get all the reports
I guess I'm
tonight.
getting most of the reports today. So PAC report.
3/4.
We had our last meeting for the school year last Monday. And we did that because we'll come back early in July, and real early in July, so we can kind of plan some back to school stuff. Hopefully, we're looking at planning some kind of open house in the new building and that area. There'll be a lot of construction going on, so I think there'll be an opportunity to do something in the building and common areas when we do the open house. So May's just super, super busy for everybody. Kind of wind things down. We did share, Ms. Perella came and shared the Title I application, the Title II, 3, and 4, the things you'll have to vote on today. With them, went over that. We gave them an update from the Finance Committee and then planned actually it's next week, some things for Teacher Appreciation Week for next week, so we recognize teachers next week. So,
Good.
A good meeting, a little shorter. Everybody after the big career day was pretty tired, exhausted, ready for a breath.
I bet. Okay. Any questions about PAC? Principals report.
Principal report, you can see where we are with enrollment as of printing of this, 143 total. 6 of those are pre-K3, 4 pre-K4, so really still hanging at the 133 mark for K12 in that aspect. April 7th through April 10th, our state FFA took 20 kids. We didn't get anybody placed in the top 5, but the kids did do well, worked hard, and ready to show them for us. April 14th, Student-Based Health Center, we have sports physicals for all our kids who want to play sports. April 20th is the PAC meeting. April 18th, we had prom, very well decorated. If Ms. Roper ever wants a second career, she could do interior design. She did a phenomenal job helping and to some point leading it, getting the decorations for the country club. The work they've done at the country club is a very nice place to have it. The lighting was a little better. I still say it's not the best dance floor in the county, maybe the state. Kids showed up. We had a good number of kids show up. As usual, they left fairly early. And so we'll talk about that next year as we get ready for prom. Maybe not planning it quite as long. DJ did a good job.
You had Zia Bites there for food?
Huh?
Zia Bites for
Zia
food?
Bites provided the food and those who, I think they provided so much of it for us that we paid for, and if they wanted extra others, they had that option. And they stayed open to the community where they parked. Some community came and still bought stuff, so they didn't lose a night of business because they were out there. And then Sticks and Picks, where the camera trailer was set up again, that is always a hit and does well out there. So,
Was that Miss Johnson's?
Yes, they love that.
And she has hats and stuff. and
Yeah.
they go- yeah,
It's
Yes,
pretty neat,
they-
actually.
it is.
so and Miss Howard had games set up for them, and I mean the kids. There was plenty for them to do, whether you wanted to dance or not. We about decided we need to teach a dance class because not many students are dancing out there. They're just not dancing. And the DJ did a good job with the music, and I mean it was a very nice experience, and probably the bigger one we've had in the last 3 or 4 years
That's
as far as
nice.
total numbers of kids showing up.
Oh, good.
So, had the FFA banquet Saturday night. I think several of y'all were in attendance, and you'll have to get to update with them because unfortunately I had the family situation out of town. We had Ag Day today that was well attended, and
Oh, good.
do it.
Oh, good.
Yes, we had Ag Day today, and had to rearrange the animals because it couldn't be out on the turf field, but I think it worked fine and everything went off.
I was wondering, I didn't make it, so where'd you put them?
In the parking lot.
Oh.
They took over the parking lot.
Oh,
So,
Okay.
and most of the animals that were there were our kids' show animals that they're preparing for show, which that probably always is, but today, for some reason, today's when it hit me that they were our animals that were there. So, K2 or K through 2 is going to Spencer Theater tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon, we will have Child Find in the afternoon. So K3 will be at Spencer. They'll come back and then I'll have Child Find in the gym. Thursday is our district track meet at Magdalena. In the weekly Grizzly, I started already giving y'all some dates that aren't on here. May 12th is the sports banquet. May 14th is the kindergarten graduation. May 16th is senior banquet. May 17th is our board meeting. May 18th is baccalaureate. I think I'll have the dates off by a couple of dates. And Friday is graduation. So I think
May 20th is
yeah, I think I have the dates wrong. It's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. So, but those, I have those, I'll include those in my report. I'll send you out the end of the week, so.
Yeah.
22nd graduation.
Yes. Okay, any questions about principal's report? All right, Mr. Patterson, you're up again.
Phasing, I didn't add a whole lot to this from what y'all saw, but I'll kind of touch the hot spots. The auctioneers will be here Thursday. They're going to start with the old activity bus, bringing batteries to get it running and pulled out. And they'll spend most of Thursday out at the ag farm and at our outdoor stuff. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, they'll start moving it indoors. And the thing is a little bit of change. So by Friday, I will be sending out a website where people can start auction because it goes live once they have everything up on writing, and it will run through the 25th, through the 24th, and then the 25th. They have the 25th through the 30th to come pick it up. They manage it all. They run it. They'll be the ones here making sure that me and Mr. Turner don't get in an argument over who bought what.
Well, good.
They police all that and do all that. We're just here to give them access. While that's going on, starting next Monday, furniture start being delivered to the classrooms and being put together in the classrooms. That'll run for 2 weeks. So all of our new furniture, or the majority of our new furniture, will be in the building by the 22nd. The 22nd is when by the 18th. The 18th is when our staff will start moving over there. We've got 4 or 5 people from Region 9 that work in the district that don't have kids that week, so they're going to come help. We've got, we're working with Bradbury on some people there coming to help. We're probably going to select a few kids to help and get that done. I don't, with the exception of poor Ms. Vallejos with the library and the kitchen. Most of the move shouldn't be too much because there's not a whole lot of furniture that's going. Most of the furniture is going to be new. There are some stuff we just purchased within the last year that we're going to hold on to for now because it's got good purposes to it. And then if we end up not needing them or using them, we'll cross that bridge. We'll get there. But they don't make sense to get rid of and have to turn around and buy some more if we need them. So any questions on that aspect of the phasing the next few weeks? And so those of you that went on the tour, you heard Dwayne say, or maybe you heard him say, well, the staff will go move their boxes in, but to get into their classrooms and actually work probably won't happen until the 1st of July. So my summer staff that works through June will all be in this building for the month of June. And then in July, the goal is to get them in there because I know Ms. Vallejos is already chopping at the bit to get the library set up. And so during that time, ground stuff will be going on, but the main reason it's such a pressure to get us moved out of the building is this abatement's going to take a while, and they need to get started on it on the 25th. I have gone and met with all of our neighbors that live back here, except one. She's been there, but I can't get her to come answer the door. Miss Burrell's got her phone number, so tomorrow when Miss Burrell's back, we'll call her and give her the invite. But we're going to do a luncheon for those people, go over what to expect through the summer with the abatement and the stuff because it's going to impact them the most. And we are going to invite the mayor if he wants to come. We're going to invite the police chief if he wants to come, just so they know what's going on. So
Good idea.
we're really only inviting the people that it's going to impact. If we need to, when we go to phase 2 and we need to invite anybody on this corner, I mean, Veneer will do a second one for them later, but that's a different kind of staging. So far, everybody I've met with, they were just thankful. You really are thinking about us. I said, yeah, you've been good neighbors. We want to stay that way.
Right.
And so, math adoption K-8 is pretty set on Savos High School. I talked to her a little bit today. Good chance we're going to get her to go with the same adoption. We're waiting. We got part of the bid today, so it's too late for this board meeting. Once we get all the bids, I will get with Ms. Bowman and we'll look at what we can afford. And I went ahead and have them give us 3 bids. What's the necessities? What's what we'd like to have? What's the limousine model? And then we'll kind of see where we come in with the 3 quotes. I'm hoping we can at least get the middle package of it, but we'll see as it comes in. Staffing updates. As of yesterday, we were fully staffed for next year with teachers because we hired an English teacher, i.e. Gifted person. So we'll no longer contract with Region 9 for gifted next year because we'll have it in-house. We actually, she was our gifted person from Region 9. But today our reading interventionist / coach position came open. So she's resigning and moving on at the end of the year.
So you're saying the Region 9 gifted lady is going to be full-time here?
Full-time here teaching middle school language arts, and she'll have a elementary class for gifted and a secondary class for gifted, and then a period to do all the testing and identification because it's so entailed. So I had to
Good.
leave Miss Waco with the math and PE, and then leave Miss Kuzmak with science social studies.
And then,
And she's probably going to pick up the reading grant. I mean, the arts grant, running the arts grant. So
And then the reading intervention, Ms. Toller, she's moving on.
She's gonna move on at the end of the year. So,
Okay.
So I will be working on getting that position posted. I just took one down, so I'll work on getting that one posted. And I kind of want to meet with Kathy and Ellie a little bit more in detail about it because we forewent doing the reading coach because we had a reading interventionist on site full time. We may look at this position being kind of a combination where same position, same pay, same title, but maybe part of her day is actually coaching teachers instead of pulling kids for reading. Because under some of the new reading guidelines that are coming out, we're predicting in a year or two, we're going to have a reading coach at least once or twice a week anyway. And so if we can get one already here that's also doing intervention, that would be a win from that aspect. So co-op with Hondo, as you probably saw, not going to be able to pull it together. Between Hondo's board, some of the community, it just isn't jiving, it isn't being able to pull off. There's too many variables. We've been trying to get this pulled off for 3 or 4 months now. Y'all approved it in January, I think. And what we thought was kind of a done deal did not become a done deal. So now we're back at the drawing table looking at numbers and questioning what's going to transpire for football for next year.
What are the variables?
Huh?
What are the variables?
Uh,
Can't say.
Not us.
Okay.
Not our families. Is that the best way to say that?
They're stubborn.
It's,
We're still
There, I guess for at least a group of people, and I don't think it's all, I think for at least a group of people, the history, the control, I think there's those aspects. And never really could even get them to the table to meet with me to discuss it. I offered to go talk to the parents, I offered to go talk to the board, he offered to talk to the board. I've been out of contact with the superintendent was a go, one of their coaches was a go. Several of the parents and fans I've talked to were a go, but they're just, and I'm gonna be honest, if it's that much fight to get it going when the season starts, what are we gonna deal with all the time?
Yeah, it's gonna be.
2 days.
And so, it's just kind of where we are. I wish the Corona was a little bit closer because I wish that highway's a little bit safer because they do have 2 or 3 kids that I think would probably saddle up. But when we tried it before, getting them here from there was the challenge. It was a little too far. And there's nowhere to meet in the middle unless we can get a rancher.
I was gonna say ranch,
You know, so.
have Matt build it or something.
Some at Ancho.
Big build film.
You see the attendance number, you see the discipline numbers.
Thank you for adding these to the report. I really like this.
So,
Seems like April it kind of went up a
Right,
little
look, I
because
saw that.
the end of the school year.
yeah, well,
Well, major,
yes.
yes.
and actually most of that was one day.
Oh.
And it was a day, I was the one doing the discipline, so it was a fun day. So, but yeah, most of that actually all happened in one day, and the majority of it was little ones. It wasn't really a couple of older kids, but most of it was little ones.
Okay.
So, but the neat thing is the majors are still staying pretty far down. The classroom stuff is starting to be handled more in the classroom, following and capturing kids' hearts, and so still very, very good numbers. I am going to go to a training the 1st of July. We'll look at some alternative ways to discipline besides just OSS because we know it's not a great tool. Unfortunately, most of the time it's the tool we have. But I'm going to go to a 2-day training with PED. They've got some things that interest me. I had a meeting with the lady that's putting it on, so I'm going to go on Monday, Tuesday, 1st of June, and see what it's about. See if it's something we want to bring back and incorporate, or if it's we want to just keep moving the way we're doing because we're moving in the right direction. So,
And just as an FYI, 4, 3, and 1 totals 8.
Huh?
4, 3, and 1 total 8.
yes, it does. So,
Your math expert here.
I've been a little stressed.
I thought I was looking at that wrong. I was like,
What kind of alternatives are they? Can I ask that?
It's, well, so it goes down that road of restorative
restorative
practices.
justice.
And with capturing kids' heart, what we're doing in the classroom is already tier 1 and tier 2 of that. And so I've never been to anything that talks about what tier 3 is. And so I want to go see what they're talking about in tier 3. Is it something that, because I've done restorative justice when I worked with the juvenile justice department, when I did some things, and it absolutely worked there in a lot of situations, not all of them, but a lot of situations. But restorative practices in the juvenile restorative justice and juvenile justice, you got a little more weight and clout because of JPOs and other people who are involved at that level. In the schools, it's been coming for a while. I've never been to anybody that has really given a training on what it looks like and what it does and how does it fit in school. And so I'm gonna go see. And if it's something we can add to our toolbox, great. If it's not something we add in our toolbox, I'm okay with that too. They're paying for it, they're funding it. They're, but if you think about it, you suspend a kid on a Thursday, he just got a 4-day weekend. Other than removing him from the situation, what was the consequence of it? And there's a time to do that. I'm not saying there's not, but there may be some other things that we can look at that does some different things, brings a different, some of the programs. One of the things that we're looking at is the Botkin program that Region 9 has. My son piloted that at the school, and it's a series of computer-based courses they have to take if they're in trouble for bullying or for vaping or for other things. The problem is you got to have somebody facilitate that. And so we're looking at ways to bring that in, because we can get that through Region 9 through stuff that we already pay for. So it's more, really, I'm going to it more for my educational piece to see if it's something to bring back to y'all or not. So, but I can't, right now, I don't feel like I know enough about what they're going to share to really speak intelligibly about it. So. And then maintenance yard, you see
Wait,
the picture.
what is that on the cafeteria, number 7?
Oh, the cafeteria plan, this is more for your information. We've used a company for a few years. We've had a few challenges getting answers. And so I brought a gentleman that we used to use in Carrizozo that's more local, that does the same thing. Very customer. The staff met with him Thursday, got to get some questions answered. And so Maria and I are going to get with him this week, today or tomorrow, Thursday, and kind of give the go ahead to start looking at what it takes to make the changes. He lives in Alto. Like I said, he drove down here to meet with the staff. A couple of staff had questions. Well, I have this and want to do this. What should I do? And he's like, well, you can give me your money for that, but I recommend you already have what you need. I wouldn't spend it out. And so he took money out of his own pocket. That's just kind of his nature and personality. Offers a lot of the same things, just a different company that's customer service is been much better experience with. So it's not a done deal, but I've been talking to the staff about it since January, and they were like very interested in it because we have some people that have questions that we've been trying to get answers from since November and can't get answers from them. So, and the cafeteria plan, for those of y'all who don't know, that's the insurance that you can take out that the school doesn't pay for, but you can take it out pre-tax so that you're not taxed on that income. So like for me, cancer runs in my family. I've had a cancer probably my whole career. And so that money's deducted out of my paycheck. I pay for it too. And if I'm saying it wrong, tell me.
No,
And I pay for it, and I have a cancer policy that's there if I ever need it. Hopefully I don't, but if I ever need it, I need it. So it helps them. They can do some investment, 401ks, some different things for their retirement. And it's a third party because the school doesn't really participate in that.
That's not through NIMSIA. So NIMSIA is the school insurance, whereas this is different.
Private.
Sorry, I kind of bypassed that one. And then the maintenance yard placement, trying to get things put together. I kind of hit a snag today that I need to go talk to the mayor again, because there's some things on this report that I don't think I'll have answers to by the time he needs this, i.e. where the septic and electrical run. I may have to get somebody actually on site to do that, because in the paperwork I'm filling out, it asks for a map and the design of the building. So I pretty much spent some time designing a building today that kind of looks like this for a maintenance yard, and fence and gravel
Where's this location?
So that is so you see the CTE building there with the circle drive in front of it? And so,
Is it behind
So
the big
diagonal,
house?
yep.
Okay.
it's property we already own.
Yeah.
Um,
I know where it's at.
And so we're looking at trying to get on the agenda for that. The good news is the way that lot's coded, we don't need a variance. We do need the permission to build what we're building. So I forget what that's called, but a structural approval. So, and the amount of equipment that we're going to have of extra tile, extra flooring, extra carpet, extra ceiling tiles, extra lights that we're going to have to store when this is done. Right
And
now,
secure
we
it.
have nowhere to put it. And so it kind of is getting pushed to the front of the line.
Top
to try to get
priority.
something. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
And we're gonna use bond money to do
yeah,
it.
that'll be bond money. So
Oh, yeah, okay. We probably needed one for a long time.
Yes, we have.
We used to have that ugly one.
That's the old wood shop.
any questions?
Okay, thank you. Miss Marie.
Evening, everyone. It's good to see you. I'm glad to be here tonight. So on the first item of business is the bars or the budget transfers. We are coming into the end of the fiscal year, so we're starting to look really closely and make sure that all of our functions are positive. And so the increase bar is, or no, it's not an increase bar, it's a transfer bar. And that's the second one. And that's just moving some money within the operational fund to even everything out. The operational bar is an increased bar from the increased SEG that they came out in February. I think it went from, I can't remember. All I can think about is next year's. I think it went from it went up a couple $100. So that was our allocation for that. And then we do have the budget to present tonight. I don't know if you all want to go ahead with that, or do you want to go to your approval, or how do the budget's the next thing, so.
I have it as a discussion and approval of action items, but
Yeah.
present it either with her right now with.
Let's wait and do it when we
Whenever you,
Do
yeah,
it, and then we
that's
can
fine.
take action on it right after you present the
Right,
budget.
and so then the next few items are, of course, we've got our disbursement listings for the checks that have been written. I have to tell you that we had the biggest, well, I won't say it because we're on camera, but we all were wondering, why would you have show pigs that you're giving back? Or it was kind of a weird thing. And we were like, so we looked it up, and then I guess it's a thing. So there's that.
Yep.
And then we had the purchase order report. And these are the report of all the purchase orders that were created in the month of March.
Okay. In reference to that, I know Tillery Chevrolet GMC, I know we're buying, what are we-
Suburban.
oh, how many?
Two.
Two.
We'll be here about August probably.
It says one.
Yeah, it says one, but it's two.
It says one for 130. That's where I got confused.
It was one PO, but it's.
It
two
was,
as well.
yeah, it's a line
Oh.
item one,
Okay.
but the total
like,
is
whoa,
134 because, yeah.
Okay, got it.
But I can pull up the PO if you'd
No,
like
I'm
to see
fine.
it.
I
Okay.
just need clarification on that.
Or the quote, yeah, it's for two.
Okay.
Okay, are there any other questions on the POs created?
Mm-mm.
And then the disbursement listing and John did have a question as to why there were so many to the K-12, and it was because we had gotten a little bit behind in the crossover of getting
Oh, I wondered that too.
getting the invoices out. So So we got them all caught up now. And then there's your expenditure analytic review. And everything looks pretty good. Pretty much right where we should be. A little bit more in March, probably because of those Suburbans. That's not something you buy every year, so on your expenditures by comparison, and then by funds and object, they're all pretty much the same. Your operational fund cash liquidity is 7.4, which is really good. And your cash balances, like I said, those are what we're starting to really look hard at as we enter the end of the year. Revenue reports and expenditure reports. And your bank reconciliation. Both the operational and activity with your bank statements. And then we have a few outstanding disbursements that we're trying to get cleared before the end of the year, which we will get that done. Some of them are just from March, but some of them are a little bit older. Bank statements. Then the budget is there as well at the end.
Okay.
So I stand for any questions on all of those items, and then we can look at the budget if you'd like. It's up to you, or if you want to go ahead and
Yeah,
approve
we'll
it.
approve the consent agenda first and then
Right.
we'll move on.
Can I add something to my report real quick?
Sure.
So, today, we put a PO on the books to put cameras in all the buses between now and June 30th.
Oh,
We're gonna have a little bit of transportation money we need to take care of. And so it'll be indoor, outdoor cameras, inside cameras, driver cameras. It'll be pretty nice. And we got a company that's coming that will have them done before June 30th. So
Activity bus too?
activity bus too.
Nice.
Suburbans?
You got them up, you should do it.
I mean, we use a lot of Suburbans for kids as well.
Right, well, I'm thinking the front and back camera maybe something it's for, but we gotta check, because with transportation, it's gotta be to and from, right?
Yes, I believe
it
so.
can't be- So that money we can't use for Suburban, that doesn't mean we can't do something, we just can't use that money, because it's for.
Well, you can do the activity bus then?
I believe so, because it's, yeah, let me check on what's allowable.
It's to and from.
Spend.
We're doing the activity bus.
Okay.
I know, but to and from, you were saying.
To and from, to the place and from the place, so not
Okay.
to and from school.
Well, you could use that same logic with Suburbans.
Right.
You could,
That's
right?
right.
Folks are driving in and.
You could use that same logic, absolutely.
All right. Any other questions? And I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda
I move to approve all bills paid. Second.
and the bars.
And the bars.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the paying our bills and approving the 2 bars. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. All right, Miss Marie,
Oh, goodness.
let's delve into the budget.
I was telling Jessica, it's been a rough one because I had a couple of family things that happened. And so I appreciate your moving the meeting and being patient with me getting the packet together. I do appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Okay, so this is your operating budget for FY '27. So there's just a few highlights, and I'll just read a little bit of it. I'm not going to read every word, but this first page is kind of important. Carrizozo Municipal Schools collaborated with administration, staff, and parents to develop a budget that is aligned with the school's goals. CMS balanced the budget on anticipated revenues and $4,214,085 of cash carryover for fiscal year FY '27. And that cash carryover just isn't the operational cash carryover. It's cash carryover from your wind farm, from your SB9, from all of your funds. Those would be the carryover. That's the carryover amount that will be used. All certified staff will receive a mandated 1% pay increase, and classified staff will be receiving a 4% pay increase to address increasing health premiums and inflation, which is what the budget committee had
Can we
asked.
touch on that for just a second? Part of the reason why the committee wanted to do that is the state is, and she's going to talk about this in just a second, we've got to offer 80-20 insurance where we're paying 80%. Well, for our certified teachers, they're fixing to put a pretty big lump sum of money in their pocket because they're at 60-40 right now. So that's money that they're not going to get taxed on, it's going to go back in their pocket. Our other staff, classified staff, which could be IAs, secretaries, custodians, they are at 75-35 anyway. So they're not getting a very big jump in their pocket. So what a lot of schools are doing to try to offset that a little bit so that our, to be honest with you, with premiums going up, they actually would stand a chance to bring home less money if we didn't do this. And so the committee wanted to look at least a 3%, 4% if we could do it. And then that's what brings us to where we're at, still allowing the rest of the staff to get the 1%, which by code is a 1% average, but we'll be able to get everybody the 1%, not the average.
So the unit value used to determine the school's SEG is, it increased by 3.49 for a total, so the unit value now is $7,117.10. That'll be the unit value for FY '27. For FY '26, it was $6,877.10. Yeah, that's right. So it's an increase of like 200.
Yeah, like $270.
Yeah, $270. So health insurance coverage will increase to a mandated 80-20 split for all employees. Medical insurance will increase an additional 9.95%, and dental insurance will increase 4%. So everything's going up, right? So the school's risk insurance will be increasing an additional 18.8456%.
There's nothing we can do about that. There's nothing we can do about that because we're locked into NIMSIA.
We're locked in an NIMSIA, and not only that, one of the things that was shared with us the other day is NIMSIA in the last 3 weeks has just gotten it past where disability insurance will now be through them, which will be an 80-20 split on districts and people starting July 1, 2027. Brady with BIS talked about that means they can't sell it anymore, but what his recommendation was, and it was better for the district and better for our staff, is when that comes about in January, enroll them at the 90-day disability, so that the disability kicks in at 90 days because they can sell short-term disability, and our teachers can go about short-term disability on top of that. So they'll be covered through him, which is better for them. The 90-day wait means there's a less premium on us, which is better for us as a district. So it's something we'll look at going into January of next year. But that literally, I got it from him. She didn't even have it yet from the business office yet. So, and so, yeah, and it is, and we're at their mercy. So
if it goes up 20% again next year,
it actually is
nothing we
going
can
to
do.
go up for the next 2 or 3 years. It's going to go up substantially, like 2 years in a row, to catch up because they're so far behind is what they're saying. So what percentage it is, I don't know. Legislation tried to set it where it was going to be like 12% a year over 5 years, and it is passed.
Somewhere.
You would think. It's crazy.
Albuquerque is the only district that can select not to use NIPSIA. And that's
Why?
because of their sheer size and mass of the district.
About a racket.
Yeah.
So just to go over a few things that have helped you all out, A new English learner multiplier has been established, and schools providing designated ELL services are eligible for additional program units. Carrizozo benefited from an increase in multiplier for this district size. And the ancillary services multiplier increased in FY '27 by 17.75 units, resulting in an increase of approximately $869,000. So that's a good little chunk that might help offset some other things, Anyway, so down here, you just see your school-specific budget changes, and then the statutory required budget changes that we have included in the budget. And then the second page is the, like I said, the basic things, the 9.95 for medical insurance, 4% for dental. All schools must meet the same hours. Days for over 180 days, which y'all didn't qualify for, or over 190. So, okay. So the school's overall projected budget is $9,689,273, which includes the revenue of $5,475,188. Sorry, I said that wrong. $5,475,188. Oh, I guess that's that. And projected cash carryover of $4,214,085. The SEG revenue increased $78,407 in FY '27 due to the increase of unit value and ancillary services multiplier. So all of those things helped. Special revenue funding is based off the recently completed, which I think I completed, I'm sorry, that's misspelling. Cody will talk about that. Unified application. At the time of this budget, we are still awaiting the awards for Perkins and CTE. So the funding is based off of previous year's allocations. So as you can see over on the side, you have your revenue that's coming in from your operational, your student transportation, your food services, ad valorem tax, and athletics, and then your special revenues, student activity, Title I, Title II, IDEA B, Title IV, Medicaid, CTE, natural helpers, and RLIS. Then your capital revenue, and these are based off of things from last year. As we move forward, and you'll see some of the projections for next year. This does include your carryover or some of it, but for next year, I did not budget to get more revenue from wind farm because I'm not sure what that looks like. Our allocation, the $860,000 that we got was for 5 years or 4. I don't remember. Anyway, it was for several years. It wasn't just for, and I'm relatively sure we won't be getting another allocation like that. So I didn't budget for that, but there's still that money there. That's your cash carryover, right?
So at the very top, the projected cash carryover of the $4,214,000. I understand that's all funds, but
Right.
Does that not throw up a red flag?
Well, that's why we also have a projection to do a couple other things next year with staffing that will pull it down a little bit. I got to make sure the plan is still that person's going to retire at the end of the year, because they don't retire at the end of the year. We've created a different problem, but if that's going to work out, we can hire a person for a year to learn that position because it entails so much, and it also will give that person help as we finish transitioning to the SIS and some of the other things that we're doing.
I think that too, if there was ever a question, you guys are in ongoing construction phases. So if anyone said, well, what are you saving that money for? I can say, well, we're ongoing construction phases right now, and who knows,
It's
what
the
comes
safety net.
and because truly there's going to be expenses that need to be paid for, right?
Right, and didn't anticipate.
Yeah. That always happens.
Okay.
So, okay, and here again, we see the revenue comparison from the previous year. And like I said, I did not budget for wind farm money. coming in, and PSCOC capital outlay awards. We still have that money there. So that's part of the cash carryover, but they're there because we're waiting on to be able to use it, right? So
Right.
there's that. Okay. Any questions on that? Okay. And then this page is the SEG, and it's a breakdown of where the money is coming from for the SEG. So you can see that it's a side-by-side comparison from the year before. And in the far right corner or column, you see what went up and what went down. So and overall, it's a $78,000 increase. The expenditures, the data to the right indicates that the school has budgeted 48% of operational expenditures in instruction and 15% in classroom support for a total of 63% for instruction and support when not considering the cash carryover. So that's good. You want to have a good budget in that.
Mhm.
Any questions on expenditures budgeted for? Now, these are all budgeted,
Right.
who knows what we're going to do next year, but this is what we think we're going to do, right?
It's merely a plan.
It's just a plan. Here's a comparison graph comparing the total budget of all funds to the total 2026 estimated expenditures. So the only thing that's a little bit more is the instruction, or quite a bit more, and it's because we did add some for new positions. We also increased our to 80/20, and we also gave a raise. So
Right.
that's why that's going to be more. And then the expenditure.
The building plan doesn't capture what we're doing with the bond projects, right?
No, because I didn't do those. I just left it there. Yeah.
The building plant should be significantly higher this next year between
Because-
what we're doing with construction and projects we got planned.
Right.
So,
And then this indicates that 76% are budgeted in compensation and benefits, and 21 for contract services, and 3% for supplies. So that's what you would want your SEG to be budgeted for. Are there any questions on any of that? Okay.
No.
So then your personnel costs, we have 16.72, and the reason it's 0.72 is because of the funds that they're paid for out of, right? So down below, you see the librarian is a 0.28. Her other position is 0.72 for the teacher, right?
Right.
So it makes for one FTE.
Correct.
And then you've got your support, non-support, your sped teacher, and then there is that new position. And then your support services, that one is Kathy. She's the admin in that. And then there's two support services is you, and then the school administration is Kathy. No, other way around. Support services, Kathy,
Right.
and then Ellie and Mr. Patterson are the admin. And then you've got the office staff, custodial, substitute. All in all, you are increasing your FTE by 2, I believe, from last year. Is that right? And then the additional compensation, I didn't list them out separately, but if anybody needed to know what entailed that dollar amount, I certainly could do that if you'd like.
So the stipends, that's like the coaches and the,
Yes.
right,
Yearbook,
We send them to training, get
right.
certificates when they get some of those. So,
Yeah, and the additional compensation is just, whatever those are. And then listed below are non-personnel costs that are included in the budget. We have the reserve, your carryover, your construction, your debt services. Those
So a question on that, if we're adopting the math curriculum, it's not in textbooks here in the budget.
That's why I was actually successful saying that, I was looking at that, so, because we haven't got the quote yet, so I don't know if that's.
No, we, actually, I did see just today, I saw, on the PED website that they have a breakdown for within the SEG, they provide an amount of money for your
Instructional
textbooks.
materials, right?
Yeah, and I saw what that dollar amount was, it was like
It's
46,000.
very seldom enough,
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, very seldom, even for our
So-
size.
this is if we have to replace a science book or if we have to,
right, that's
That-
just general
Okay.
stuff, that's not a textbook adoption thing.
Right. Okay.
And then, your ancillary services. And all of your,
all the utilities.
utilities and insurance and blah, blah, blah. All the stuff. And then here's the operational fund balance look. In 2023, y'all were kind of on the low side, but have been kind of going up, which is good. And we estimate next year you will end the year with less than you end the year with this year. So
Not by much. Some,
there's a little.
not by much,
Yeah.
but
Not by much. And it might be a lot less if, things are done, like more of the construction and, that's just the estimate.
right.
And then the appendix, you'll see the 910B5. This is your initial 910B5 that Cody will need to sign. So when we upload the budget, it's there. And then
That's,
several
I looked
pages.
at that and just glossed over. I was like, yeah.
That's what I was.
Page
It's
83 is the dollar schedules.
it's a real
83.
it's a real
Right.
treat.
There.
And I have to get that to match those numbers that are in that. It's not
Right.
just and then so this is your salary schedule for this year, and John did point out to me that I did not change the year from 20 to 26, 27. So but this one is the one that got the 1% increase, and I will change that year before I upload it. And then the classified salary schedule is the one that got the 4%. And I did change that as well before. So there's that. And then the school calendar also has to be uploaded and taken care of in OBMS. And I think you all have already approved it.
Yes.
So this is just for your informational purposes. And
That's
that's
me.
is that you? Okay. I was like, what is that? I didn't do that. No, I'm just kidding. All right. So I stand for any questions.
You work wonders, so thank
Bless
you.
Chris.
Well,
Thank you.
thank you.
John, did I get you
Bless you.
sick?
Appreciate it.
I'm sure it took you, what, a couple hours? maybe?
I think she slept a couple hours the last one, so.
All right, thank you. Any questions on the budget? You're good with the 4%, 1%?
Yes, I am.
I hope so, because it's done.
It's in the budget.
You're right.
I'm not gonna have her go home and change it.
They usually, the group that's getting the 4%, when you do the flat percentage rates across, because of what they make, they get the less impact. And
Absolutely.
Oftentimes, they end up upside down when insurance hits and other things hits. And so
Right.
this gives us an opportunity to rectify that a little bit.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Take
Yeah.
care of it, so.
Well, then I'll entertain a motion for action item 7A.
Move to approve, school year 26, 27 school budget.
A second.
Been moving second to approve next year's school budget. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. So Title 1, 2, 3, and 4,
Any questions on that? Title I will pay for one salary, one A, and then some training and some different things. You only just kind of come up. with all
Just
of
summarize it.
together. Yeah. Title II is kind of the same thing, and they'll have some stipends and supplies. Title IV is the
The
same.
grants, basically
Yeah.
money for us, right?
Federal grants, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Title II is more professional
Title II or
development.
Title IV that has some of the money for it, that we have to set aside so much for homeless, so much for
Yeah.
McKinney
McKinney
Vento,
Vento,
and those
uh-huh.
types of things. So those things are set aside in it. The one thing they did this year, which in the big picture next year is going to be great because we had the experience with it this year, is they've gone to a unified application, which means this, Kathy did most of this, but while she was on it, I could log in and be on it while they're all doing that in the same application. Kirsten was working on the Ideal B application, and it's all in one location. It's where the budget's going to be going. And so they're getting everything into a central housing unit, which is a little frustrating right now because it's not all the wires are worked out of, bugs are worked out of it, but in the big picture, I think down the road, it's going to make some lives easier. I know for us, this was a lot simpler this year from that aspect. And it made it even simpler with me being not on site all the time because she had access to it. All of us had access to the same documents. So, but that's Title I through IV.
I'm gonna do that now. I'll discuss it. We were gonna
It's all
discuss-
one app now? Is that what we're
Oh,
saying?
yeah, it's a unified
So-
application. They each have their own portions in the app, but like Title I is still
Right.
Title I, Title II, still Title II. That's why it's broken up that way. So,
So do we need to vote on these individually or can we vote on them as a block?
To be safe, just do individually real quick.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, I move to approve the Title I application.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve Title I application. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed? Motion carries.
I move to approve Title II application.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve Title II application. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
And then this is Title IV,
Mm-hmm.
not 3, right?
Right.
I move to approve the Title IV application.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve Title IV application. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Okay.
Motion carries. Okay.
Now I do.
Then the Idea B assurance statements and then the Idea B app.
that's actually what was there in your application next.
Right.
The blue is all the assurance statements that we're doing that, following the laws, following the rules, doing those things, and we are. And in fact, they don't let you mark it no. If you mark it no, you gotta go back and do more work. And so, and we do all those things. And so those are the assurances that have to be approved because they have to show the board minutes that they were approved.
Okay.
And then the applications next, so.
Okay,
All right, so item E.
I move to approve the Idea B assurance statement 2627.
Been moved and seconded to approve the Idea B assurance statement for 2627. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
I move to approve Idea B the application.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the Idea B application. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? Motion carries. Elementary Arts Program, this is the application that we get every year.
To help fund.
Just told, yeah, for the, where they bring in
grants
the
or whatever.
guitar players and the whatever.
Okay, I move to approve the elementary art project application.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the Elementary Arts Program application. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Item H, discussion and approval of the removal of furniture and equipment.
If you look at most of this list, this is stuff that was in the culinary kitchen that doesn't need to be moved. The cafeteria kitchen, which there is one item that probably, even if you approve it, it's probably going to come back off because one of the things in the walkthrough we did this week is they're having to put a dishwasher in a new kitchen. They didn't, for whatever reason, they didn't plan for. So we're probably moving the one we have. They're working on a solution for that as we speak. And it's also got some old tools that work, that are in good shape, but they're not necessarily safe. They don't have all the safety devices for our students that Mr. Howard would like to make room in the shop to do, so.
That list was here somewhere, right?
Yeah,
page
14, 114.
114.
Okay.
we're
The
gonna-
last one, huh?
Mhm. Move to approve removal of furniture and equipment.
Second.
They moved seconded to remove the furniture and equipment that was on this list. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Now, removal of the library books.
So the reason why it was not in your packet is this is how many front and back pages of library books this Amos is going through for the move. And we were trying to figure out, it was taking us some time to figure out the right way, legal way, and best way we could do it. These are the books that she's already removed front and back, so this is the list you're approving. We'll probably have another list later of books that come through that she's doing, as she's doing them, she's adding to that list that comes through. If approved, we think that the auctioneers can go ahead and start selling some of these books and moving them along the way. The problem we're going to run into is for a little while, we're probably going to be storing some books because it's going to take a while to get that list. You have 115,000 books going into.
Get rid of?
Huh?
Get rid of 10.5?
There's probably other versions, so it's.
Don't go through that list. Give it back.
Let's keep some. I'll store 'em.
Well,
Well, you can always bid on them.
We're
You'll be like,
going to a
"Yeah,
library.
yeah."
We're going to a library that has third the books, and these books have never been purged. I don't know that anybody's ever.
It's really bothering you.
The tree is nice.
You're gonna have to get on the auction website. and
Yep.
start bidding.
Just make your bid.
Alright.
All right, what's the pleasure?
I move to approve the removal of library books from inventory.
Second.
Moving seconded to remove the library books from inventory. It's on that list. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, motion carries. And we need to have executive session, convene, discuss possible threatened or pending litigation.
Executive session.
Second.
They move second to move into executive session. Calls a roll call vote. Mr. Barella,
Yes.
Mrs. Amore, Mr. Cerna, and I. Executive session 7:03. Thank you, Marie. Have a safe
Thank you,
trip back.
Marie.
Safe trip, but you
Um,
can before